Today we talk about Ubuntu joining the foray of AI everywhere. Oh boy. Thanks for checking out this video by switchedtolinux. If you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Leave us a like and a comment down below. And today we are going to be talking about Ubuntu and its plans to put AI-powered voice inputs into every text field in the operating system. Oh God, how annoying. But this could be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. And we want to ask, look at both sides of this and ask, are you on Team Pitchfork or are you on Team Technology? Are you ready for the Luddite movement or are you ready to fully embrace technology and AI in the way that everybody and their brother seems to say, we must do this? Which is kind of funny, of course. So we'll go ahead and have a brief look at the article here, and mostly I just have commentary and I want to have a look at the comments on this because really there's not much to the article. It's just that, hey, Shuttlesworth, who runs Canonical, is like, hey, we want to make Ubuntu the agentic AI in the Linux world. Oh God, no. But I'm kind of indifferent actually because I don't use Ubuntu anymore. And their idea here is everything is local. So here's the good news. Everything is local. It is all uninstallable. It's based on the Whisper type technology. So it's a local AI system, which is going to allow you to basically do like you do on your phones, which is always baffled me. Someone walk around, you could be typing on your phone and then you talk into it. And then what you don't realize is that as you're talking into it, Google is, or Apple is collecting that information, doing weird things with it. Apple actually settled a lawsuit, so it didn't go to court over that. Google is as well known what they were doing, whatever. And so there's a lot of these different ideas going around. Now, this, of course, is local. It should, in theory, be completely private. Everything stays. The challenge is, of course, it's just adding a bunch of maybe even minor annoyances. If I have to now the idea, it's kind of like the old, the old Ventoy, right? You got to hit a button in order for it to function. So as long as you don't accidentally hit that button or aren't otherwise bothered by that, you shouldn't actually see much impact, except for the fact that this is a bunch more packages that is considered bloat for somebody that doesn't need it. And then will need to be uninstalled, and it will need to lead to a much bigger ISO to download, as if that's not getting big enough. But on the other side of the coin is you have people with disabilities who may have a hard time typing. And as you're looking at the people that have a hard time typing, being able to talk to their computer for their input is actually a positive thing. And if AI is helping them out, and accessibility has always been an issue in Linux. In fact, I know a guy who is blind, and he actually works with a lot of the technology on the cutting edge as a tester of a lot of things. So actually was back at the total solar eclipse back in April a couple years ago. He was there, and they had a telescope, and the telescope broadcasts the thing down onto the screen, and what he basically has now is like a Braille type computer screen. So he was testing a prototype of this out. It was really cool. So he could actually feel as the telescope sees the moon passing in the path of the sun, he is able to feel exactly what people are seeing. And I had breakfast with him a little bit later after that, about, I don't know, 6 months later. So I had breakfast with him, and we were talking about, he uses mostly, I think he used mostly Mac because they worked accessibility really well. But he had to use Windows for a few of these prototype designs, but he says he didn't like Windows as much because the accessibility wasn't there. And he's looked at Linux and the accessibility wasn't where it was needed to be for a person like him. And this could be something that brings Ubuntu into the scope that someone like him can actually go through and navigate the computer a little bit better. This is, although not geared towards blind as much, this is one that would be more geared towards somebody with like some form of hand impediment, certain, like cerebral palsy could be one. You could hit a button, but you couldn't actually type. This is actually a good thing in some ways, and it's neat to see that this type of thing is coming down the pipeline. But this is coming at a time that people are getting so fed up with AI being crammed in every little corner of the world that it's just causing enough negativity in the world. And that really is the fundamental question that we want to have is this a bad thing or is this a good thing? Now, of course, what their idea here is, as Shuttlesworth says here in this article, he wants to position Ubuntu as an OS for agentic AI. Now, clearly holding a key and typing into a text field on Ubuntu is not the same as agentic AI. I think that an accessibility option is a good thing as long as it's not on by default. I mean, put it with the accessibility stuff that I can turn on if I need it, because half that accessibility stuff drives me crazy. All right? Allow me to, like, I do like what Ubuntu's done recently with accessibility as part of the onboarding. That is a good thing because somebody doesn't have to install the system and then figure out where the accessibility items are. So if it's something I can turn on or turn off, great. If it's something that's always on until I turn it off, oh God, please burn it with fire. I mean, I'll be team Pitchfork on that one. But the idea here is that agentic AI means that at some point in time, they want Ubuntu to be tied into AI models that are doing things for you. And that means connecting to the internet. And that really is a fundamental question that we want to ask. And so ultimately, I'm curious about what your thought is. And if you have a look at the comments to this article, now what I read, and I read about half of these, I read a lot more positives than negatives. And then, of course, some people are like, hey, with all you negativity, this is really needed for those of us with accessibility. I get that, and I understand it, but most people are not disabled and don't want something automatically turned on or crammed in the system. But the fact it's there is a step forward in the evolution of the system. And so that certainly is something to keep in mind. So I use Whisper and Piper with GLaDOS voice from Portal. It works great, a lot of fun. You don't need the NPU. So that's kind of what they're doing. Now, their approach is good. It's not going onto the internet, unlike Agentic AI, which will be all over the internet. This does not go to the internet. It's not sending your voices out. It is implementing the AI stuff appropriately. For that, I like it. However, what I don't like is the fact that this is something that the way Ubuntu works might be on by default, even though somebody may not specifically need it. Because as soon as they start doing that in the phones, then you start seeing everybody walk around just talking on the phone like this to send a text message. It's like, you just type it, you can just type it. But anyway. And then there's some discussion. So people are like, I don't understand the negative comments here. It's open source, 100% local. You don't have to use it if you don't like it. And this person says, hey, silently disappearing is cowardly. And this is a neat approach, right? So what does he mean? He means, oh, I don't like this. I'm just going to not use it. I'm going to go somewhere else. That's not how change is made. If this comes out and it's on by default, it's giving you notifications, hey, use our stuff, oh God, it's like Windows promoting itself. Oh God. But if it's just silently there or in the accessibility, or they say, hey, this is a new feature one time on setup, I don't mind that quite so much. So I don't know. Tell me what you think about that one. This guy, so he's defending his original comment, saying, I'm constantly trying to put it out across there are plenty alternatives rather than firing negative comments. But the thing is that what you might think is a negative comment may very well be somebody else's really valid opinion. And those valid opinions, if hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, like let's say 85% of Ubuntu's user base doesn't like this and says nothing, and they end up all 85% of their system abandons it because they don't want this stuff and there's no feedback prior to the event, that is a problem. That really is a problem. So that being said, I think that you should, if you do not like this, make some form of stink about it. Just a thought. And so there's some discussion going on into Red Hat and things. Doesn't make snarky comments. Apparently you can. If you do local LLM, I guess then if you install the local LLM, then I guess you can have your system talk back to you snarkily. It might be fun. What are you doing that for again, you moron? Okay, voice input in every field sounds cool, but privacy and accuracy, word aside. So again, this is done in a privacy respecting manner. Accuracy, I'd have questions about that one. Is this a future or a gimmick? And that's a good question. Is it future or is it gimmick? You know, if this is gimmick and part of it sounds like it, oh, Lord help us. So, and then here's this person here from an undisclosed location 4 days ago, crying out loud. This is actually a person praising the fact that it's here for accessibility purposes. And you see, Ubuntu has become more attractive in recent months. I don't know. I'm seeing Ubuntu falling and falling and falling in the lists. I think Ubuntu has been carrying itself around on its name alone, and the fact it still shows up in a lot of search terms for Linux. As far as actual, real dedicated users who are really in the Linux world, honestly, I don't know all that many still using Ubuntu. There's so many other distros out there. Quote, founder Mark Shuttlesworth aiming to position Ubuntu as the next OS for agentic AI, end quote. Time to switch to Kashi. And I've seen Kashi going up in the rankings a whole lot. And so again, there's a lot of people discussing about this is great for accessibility. And there's a lot of people like, why are we getting another AI crap pushed on us? Is this really for accessibility or for something else? I don't know. So that's kind of what I wanted to bring that discussion up and ask you. Are you team Pitchfork or are you team technology on this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and maybe we can keep this conversation going a little bit longer. This one looks like it ended 4 days ago. Let's see if we can politely discuss it amongst each other. Or, hey, is Ubuntu dead to you? Say, fine, whatever. But what if this same thing comes to the distribution you choose to use? Let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.